Podcast, CaseyLaDelle, take one.
It's a podcast.
Marker.
How many takes are
Marker. Well, more than you think. Well, okay. Hi, Casey. How are you?
Yep. I am wonderful, Alan. How are you?
I'm doing great.
How are you feeling? Is there hate in your heart?
How are you
today,
doing? No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm warm. I'm comfortable.
Okay, good.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. We got CaseyLaDelle, good friend of mine, and we've got a deep dive into the world of off-road recovery, all kinds of fun stuff. So if you're a fan, which I'm probably sure you are, this is going to be a treat. So anyways, Casey, welcome to the show. We still don't even have a name for the show yet.
I know, we're still trying to make it up as we sit here.
Yeah, literally looking at license plates.
So we know a lot about you. It's been fun hanging out with you, doing all kinds of fun stuff. But there's some stories that I've heard from you that I don't think anybody else has heard yet. Like, who is CaseyLaDelle? Like, how did you end up here? How did you get here?
CaseyLaDelle is the guy who accidentally made himself famous on the internet and is now just trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met. I met you. I got a call from Matt Wetzel, Matt's Off-Road Recovery, and he basically said, "Alan, I know your new next best friend. I'm texting you his phone number. Give him a call. Send him a red rope." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And sure enough, he was right. Like it was awesome. I called you and I was like, "So how big is your channel?" And you were at what, 2,000 subscribers at the time?
I think I was just under 4.
Just under 4.
How long ago was that?
Like
Is
even
that
the
really
foreign
under
knockoff
4?
advertisers hadn't started reaching out yet. So
Yeah.
I thought you were a scammer.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3?
Yeah, 3 years ago. And I remember you were like, "Yeah, I got 2,000 subscribers," and I remember Matt said, "Give him a rope." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Because how many ropes did we have at the time?
It wasn't. I mean, 3 years ago we were definitely didn't have a lot of inventory at that point.
Yeah. Well, it was also middle of COVID,
Yeah.
middle of all kinds of stuff. We couldn't get it.
So it was like, "Here, Casey, here
Yeah,
you go, treat it
I was
nice."
kind of like, should I tell Jade? I'm gonna get it.
Well, like on my end, it's like I had this tiny little channel that no one's really watching yet.
Yeah.
And not, like I said, not even like the foreign knockoff advertisers for cheap little widget things were even reaching out yet. Like you were literally the first business of any kind that reached out and wanted to do something with me. And then you're telling me who you were. And I'm like, this is a scam. Like, some scammer trying to take advantage of me here.
I was kind of worried I called the wrong guy because Matt was like, "This is his phone number. Give him a call. He's going to take off. It's going to, anyways, and you said 2,000 subscribers. I'm like, okay, I trust you, Matt. All right. But you took off.
You told me.
You took off.
I know you're going to do good. Like, we want to be there.
That's because Matt said that.
Yeah,
So
Matt
we
said
were-
that. We're like, okay, we'll do this. But at the same, like that was early on.
It was really
And
early.
we were, I think we may have taken somebody's order and made them wait like another week or
No, it was like we were at that point where like we had probably discussions about, okay, can we do this? Can we give a rope and some soft shackles and stuff at that point?
I think I
took
was
off.
just past the point where I learned that if you hold the phone this way, it fills the screen better on YouTube.
Which I think is really fun because kids and people say, they'll come and talk to me like, "Hey, famous YouTubers, what's the secret to success?" And I'm like, "Just go do it."
Exactly.
I've heard you say it, but what would you tell somebody that's just getting started, whether they're towing, whether they're doing, I don't know, makeup tutorials, whatever, doesn't really matter. What would you tell somebody? Hey,
Just do it and be consistent. You will never succeed at it if you don't just start doing it.
Yeah.
Like that is the main thing, is just pick up the camera and do it. And I get people all the time like reach out like, "What camera do I need? What gear do I need? What do I need to buy?" This right here
I'll do it.
can build you an entire YouTube business. That's all you need. I still film a good portion of my videos on my phone.
Well, how many videos did Mr. Beast do before it started doing anything for him? It was like 200.
Oh, he was like, I think he said he was like 10 years in before his took off, but he stayed consistent.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
So you're in year number 4 or 3,
I believe this winter here is going into number 4.
and then
Maybe, yeah.
And then I think another thing that people in just business in general, but probably with YouTube, is they think that they need to hire all these people and that they need to, like you said, they feel like they need to have all this equipment. How many people do you have right now?
It's me, and then I have Ethan as a cameraman and help with actual like work job, because in addition to YouTube, I have the actual functional business. But as far as YouTube and making the videos and putting them on YouTube, I still do it all myself. I do all the editing, I do all the posting, I do all the reply to comments, which upsets so many people. But like, Ethan,
well, that's what makes your channel your channel.
Yeah, Ethan was recently hired to be cameraman and then help out with maintenance and running vehicles and like jobs we do even that aren't filmed for YouTube. He works like, but as far as he helps film, but then when it comes time to deal with footage and edit and post and I do everything myself.
Yeah.
Well, then you have creative control. And the tone,
for better or for worse.
I want to ask you about that because
I have no reins, but I also have no reins.
I have no reins.
Yeah, there's two sides to that.
What's fun is, I mean, you know, there's all kinds of characters that'll talk in the comments and stuff. And I think one of my favorite tactics, I don't know if you're okay with us talking about this. It's not, I mean, it's not a big secret, but
remember, no reins.
You're like, you take a, like just a real backwards comment in your, and then you'll pin it.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest comment you can find.
Yep.
And that's like one of the first things you do. Like after 20 minutes, it's like, okay, I'm looking for dumb.
I do.
Where's dumb? What's the dumbest thing I can find? And it's just like, that was ignorant.
It's someone, it's not just someone who posts something like a dumb thing because they don't know any better, know the difference. Like,
right.
Absolutely
right.
not.
That's,
it's
no,
someone
you're
who's
not trying
doing
to make fun of someone.
It's definitely someone who's trying to be malicious or trying to be an a-hole or something like that.
Being mean.
On purpose. It's like, there's my sacrificial viewer. And because like in the YouTube algorithm, audience engagement is what the algorithm looks for.
Right.
There's all the different types of engagement: liking, subscribing, sharing, watch time. Comments hold the most weight out of those because a comment takes the most effort.
Right.
To click like, you click like. To click subscribe, you click subscribe. To watch, you just watch. But to comment, someone has to take the time to think of something, type it out, go through the whole deal, submit a comment. So that holds a lot of weight in the YouTube algorithm for audience engagement. So comments are very important, and a lot of people would take that negative comment, that bad comment, or that mean comment and delete it. So someone's being mean, they don't want the negativity there. And I don't really want the negativity either, but I'm going to use it when it's there. Yeah. So I pin it, make some snarky reply to it, and just kind of backhand and right back with something. And then the rest of the audience will jump in. And even if it's not necessarily a mean comment, sometimes it's a controversial one where it's like, no, this is the right way. And someone thinks, no, this is the right way. Or I did it wrong. Or did I do it right? So even if something like that, it has the same effect.
Steel cable is way better than synthetic line. You're an idiot. You know, it's just like,
yeah,
okay.
That's going to be in a video now. But like, it starts a back and forth. And a lot of time the rest of the audience will jump in. And then that person would get defensive. And yes, I upset that one person.
Yeah.
If it was like one of the mean comment ones. But instead of deleting that comment and it not existing anymore, I just turn that comment into 50 comments, 100, 200 comments. And the algorithm sees every one of those and it counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the audience engagement of that video just went through the roof.
It's funny too, because like a lot of people are like, oh man, all these guys are, you know, absolute geniuses. It's just like, it's simple math. It's simple trial and error, figuring stuff out. And I think that's what's awesome about the off-road recovery specialist guys like Troy. We were talking to Troy earlier. He is a figured out guy. I mean, he came from the military background and he was the last line of figure it out. Because if he doesn't figure it out, that piece of equipment's staying there forever. And that's the same thing that you deal with. That's what Matt deals with. That's what all these guys, you know, are trying to do. And so when you're confronted, you know, in a problem in the comment section and then turning that into, well, hey, now there's value there for taking that channel up, because you just hit a pretty incredible mile marker. How many views did you get in the last like 40 days or 30 days?
So the last 28 days, 11.5 million.
11.5 million views over the course of, over all of the videos. It's not just one video.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, on the channel, 11.5 million in the last 28 days.
That's pretty impressive for a few years. I mean, you know, we're doing stuff that you just have to do. It's not, I mean, this isn't, you're not doing crazy antics. You're not, you know, locking somebody up in a grocery store.
Yeah, my channel isn't like you come up with an idea for a video and set up this whole thing and like do some challenge. It's like, it kind of is jobs as they come or what I'm doing. So it's like, my channel is more of like everything how you're supposed to do YouTube. Like, it's kind of why I have kind of the out of the box way of doing, like, with comments and how you respond to them and stuff like that. Is my whole channel is out of the box for, like, the right way to do YouTube. Like, what everyone says is you're supposed to, first thing you do is come up with the video idea. Then you come up with the title. Then you come up with the thumbnail. Once all that's done, then you film your video. And it's like, I have to go film a video, then come up with a title, then come up with a thumbnail, because I don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
I know someone's stuck, maybe, or broke down, but what is the situation?
One thing I liked about you really early on is you do kind of things more of the non-conventional way, and I really like that about you. I think that's the reason why your channel has taken off so much, is you're real. You're not. I think I remember one of the first times that I saw you.
You're real, not your real.
Yeah, yeah. You're actually real with your content. And I remember we were at I don't remember where it was at. I think the Overland Expo, and you just pulled out your phone and you started creating content just there. And like, oh, we'll see what happens here. And then I think you ended up turning that into a video. But it was just you didn't care, and you just did what you felt you wanted to do, and there wasn't any agenda. And I really think that that's why people like you, is because you don't spend the time like, what will people really like?
Yeah.
You just do it.
No, it's not. I don't worry about what people would like, what they won't like. I'm basically taking the audience along with me for the day and what I'm doing, and what happens. I'm upset sometimes. I'm mad about something sometimes. I'm in a great mood about stuff sometimes. That's life. Like, you see some who always portray it, they're like in the best mood, everything's great and all this stuff, and like they never show frustration or anger about something. Like, that's not real life. Like, that's not anyone's real life. So like, people like, and if I have a video where I'm frustrated or upset or angry about something, it comes out in the video, and I'll get comments of like,
dude, calm down, man.
Exactly. Like, why the negativity? Like, this is supposed to be positive. It's like, this is just me, and yeah, I was mad that day. So in the video, I'm mad that day. Like,
I think that's
what
good
it
for
is.
people to see and hear, though, is because, you have the Hollywood movie stars, and then you even have a lot of these YouTubers that everything is so scripted that people can sense that. And I love that about your channel. I think you're doing an awesome job at it. I think it's unique.
Yeah.
When I remember a while ago, we were over at your house, and you were treating us to dinner. There was a few of us there, and it was for one of the expos.
My wife was treating you to dinner.
Yes, yeah.
She gets the credit for that.
Amazing tacos, I think that night was what it was.
Yeah, and she gets the credit for that.
Yeah.
We're all just chowing down. We were eating tacos or something or other, and you said, yeah, when I was a monster truck driver, I almost like shot that taco out of my mouth across the road. I was like,
fangirl.
What?
That was a fun conversation.
Like, you drove monster trucks for a little while. Tell us about that.
Yeah, when I was 19, I basically ran away at the circus, driving monster trucks.
Yeah, you did what all the kids want to do.
Yeah, and I had the chance to.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I told my parents, like, 'cause I still lived at home, like, the monster truck shows in town, I went, like, helped out with, like, building the track, running equipment, work on the trucks. They offered me a job, and I'm pretty sure I told my parents, like, hey, I'm leaving to go to work with this monster truck crew. We're going to travel around the country with monster trucks. And they're like, when? And I'm like, tomorrow. I packed a duffel bag and went, and I spent I ran heavy equipment. I was an equipment operator, truck driver, monster truck guy, but the schedules worked out because the busy time for monster trucks is in the wintertime, because you do all the indoor arenas and stadiums and all that. Busy time for construction was the summertime. That's a slow season for monster trucks. So it worked out where I could do both. I had like my winter job and my summer job. And during the summer, you still did like the oddball monster truck shows here and there. So you're doing it year round, but you still had your normal job during the summer, running equipment, driving truck, doing all that stuff. And then wintertime it was go. And then it got to the point of I was full-time with the monster trucks as I moved up kind of through the teams.
So how long from starting out working with them to being in the captain's chair, driving, being a pilot basically in the in the monster truck?
The original team I started with, I never made it to driver. I think I worked for them for 3 months, and then you meet other teams at the same shows and all that. And another team offered me driver's seat. I asked I asked one there, I'm like, what's my path look like to get into a driver's seat here? And the boss at the time was like, you're the mechanic. And I'm like,
see ya.
Exactly. I'm out. And so I went with the other team and was right into a driver.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Like, first show, disaster.
Yeah.
Like,
You watch some of those guys out there, you're like, well, what are they doing out
the
there?
very first show, my very first show, the very first race, like, you don't practice.
Yeah.
You just, I think somebody now, but back then I didn't practice. The first time I ever drove a monster truck, other than like loading it in and out of the trailer in the pits, was a race. And my very first race was lined up against Bigfoot. And I was a huge fan of Bigfoot. It's like,
And how old were you at the time?
19.
Okay.
19.
19 racing Bigfoot, right?
Yeah, so I'm sitting on this side, Bigfoot's lined up over there, and I remember looking over like, holy crap, like that's Bigfoot right there. Like, I'm out on the track with Bigfoot. And like the track goes down, back, like you do kind of ovals, and then you finish jumping towards the pits. And the promoters usually do that, where like the finish line jumps towards the pits where all the trucks are lined up, so that if one goes out of control, you hit other trucks, not the building that they have to pay for.
Yeah.
So that's why they're always like that. But they wave the green flag and we take off, and I'm out there going like, I'm setting the world on fire. I'm like the new hot thing in monster trucks. I'm gonna be the next big deal. Like, I am taking over the industry, you know, like 19 years old, like I'm doing it. And we're going
I know
around
everything.
Yep. I was killing it. And then we make the last turn, like, and I'm going around the last turn, like sliding around the last turn to head for the finish line jump. And as I come around the turn, you know, you face the pits. Bigfoot is backed into his spot and parked, and he's climbing out. And I'm like,
reality
Yeah.
sets in, right?
yep. And that squashed that real quick.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I've got a lot to learn.
So there's two questions with that dinner. We also heard about a blackhawk incident.
How many years from, okay, yeah.
Yep. And then also the fastest time, I think, in a monster truck. Is that what it was?
Yeah, there was jump over a helicopter, and I came so close to 2 world records by accident. For one show, like a stunt thing is jump over a helicopter. It's parked and not like flying or running and like being chopped in. It's parked.
You know,
we still don't like hit a helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, I
So-
mean, it's just a little scary if you're jumping over a blender, you know?
Yeah. Well, it was off.
Yeah.
But like I didn't want to pay for a helicopter.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It wasn't cheap.
we had to like practice jump and practice jump and practice jump to like make sure I could clear it in the arc of the jump and all that. And they had like a box painted on the ground, like this 50-foot box that I had to land in. And I had to prove that I could consistently land in it. Fine. So I did it. Then it gets to the show, and coming up for that ramp, something in your head, like when you see an obstacle sitting there now, like I should give a little bit extra. And I gave a little bit extra. I'm in the air going like, I'm way higher than last time. And like,
This doesn't feel right.
we definitely cleared it, and like it landed. It didn't hurt. The landing was actually not that bad because it was a fast, long landing. It flat landed. Wasn't that bad. And then we get done with the show. Like we finished the rest of the show and all that stuff. We're signing autographs. The truck's already taken apart, tires off, put in the trailer. And after autographs, the promoter tells me, "We measured that. You're only 14 feet from the world record." And I'm like, I was only in second gear. Like,
Let's do this
why
again.
didn't you tell me that? Like, I would have broke the world record at your show. I had a whole nother gear, and like that, we could have done it. And the ramp was perfect, but it was over and done, and they're already bulldozing the track and all that. And then we did speed record, which we learned a lot about going fast in a monster truck. Of like, you should put more than 14 pounds of air pressure in the tires when you're trying to go 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you should also like limit the shocks from extending way up when you hit the brakes, and the truck does that and squirrels all over. And so we did like the speed runs of mine trying to set record. And what we didn't know is that another team the same day was doing the same thing. And they actually, I thought we had it, but they had beat it and we didn't even know.
Well, wasn't it like by like only
Like 10, 15 minutes
it
or
was,
something?
well, the miles per hour, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Just
no,
like,
it was close, but it was like 6 miles an hour difference. But they beat it, and it was like we were all excited. And the owner of that team called the owner of the team I drove for to tell him like the good news, like, yeah, dude, we set the world record. And stuff. He's like, what do you mean we set the world record? Like, no, we set the world record. I never set the world record.
Ah, shoot.
So, well, actually, I've been on a kick lately. I was looking. Actually, me and Ethan were looking at Guinness the other day, and like, I want my name in that book. Yeah. Like, what can we do? Like,
There,
it doesn't have to be like a
you've
serious,
almost done
like,
it twice. I think you can
I know.
probably
It's like, it
figure
doesn't have to
out
be like serious, like, it could be like an off the wall goofy record. There's got to be something out there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, how many blinks in a day or something, you know?
Guaranteed.
I'll try that one.
Yeah, you do good in that one.
I think a question that at least I'm curious about is, what was like kind of your upbringing and kind of what molded you into like, because you're a character, you're a big personality, right? What kind of molded that along the way?
That wasn't from my upbringing. That was, I was shy kid, shy, reserved, quiet kid. And it was going out traveling and doing the monster truck thing. That's what changed that around. It had to, because it was circus lifestyle basically. And
but were you super confident when you went into that?
That first race, oh yeah, but not by the end of it. Going into the first race, yeah. Coming out of the first race, no.
So you're this quiet, shy kid, goes into monster truck racing, and then what happens?
It was, well, you're out and you have to like turn on for the audience. And like, at first I was not that at all. Like I had to get like constantly poked and prodded. Like, no, when the announcer comes up and sticks the microphone in your face and asks you how that run felt, you don't just say, it was good. Like, you have to like sell it, like, and you know, it's the entertainment business. Like,
so is that something you felt like came natural to you after you were told that, or did you have to work at it?
I had to work at it. Yeah, I had to work at it, and it was like, I was so shy. Like at first, I was even thinking just being out, like living on the road, and you know, eating out at restaurants a lot. I was like that shy kid who like wouldn't say thank you to the waitress, not because I wasn't trying to be polite. It was like I was just shy. And not say anything, but that kind of brought it all out of me, because like you had to, like, living on the road, traveling around, like being in front of tons of people. Like the monster truck racing, it's the entertainment business, just like anything I do now. It's entertainment business. Like if you're not entertaining the fans and them coming to watch you, there's no business there. So you have to, and like I said, the announcers at the end of the show, like, hey, could you like try a little harder, like say more than 2 words, like be a
little more animated.
It was learned. It didn't come natural.
And how long were you doing that? How long was the monster truck era for you?
I think I did it like where I was full-time. That was all I did. No other job. I was a full-time driver, I think, for 2 years of it. But from beginning to end, it was like 6 or 7 years of doing that.
So how was that like signing I mean, you had little kids just running up to you, freaking out.
Signing autographs and all that stuff.
You're still a kid at that point,
yeah,
right?
but in the monster trucks, it's very different than it is now with YouTube, because with monster trucks, nobody knows the drivers.
Yeah.
They know the truck. And so like I drove like Hot Stuff, Sudden Impact. I ended up driving Bigfoot. But it was like, they come up and they want Sudden Impact's autograph, not Casey's. They don't know who Casey is. Like, and because like, even in like introductions at the show, the announcer doesn't go like, and driving Sudden Impact, it's CaseyLaDelle. Like, no, it's like, and here we have CaseyLaDelle driving Sudden Impact. Like, that's the name they emphasize. That's what it is. Like, your name's not there. So, like, the trucks are famous, not you. So, like, in that case, like, yeah, we're in front of tens of thousands of people performing. But then afterwards, we go put our normal clothes on. We can go to the pretzel stand and get a pretzel. Nobody
you look like somebody else out of the audience.
No, we are. Like, like the trucks are the famous thing, not the drivers. Now, with Monster Jam, there's some of the drivers have gotten a lot more famous. So that's changed a little bit in like the bigger leagues like that, but in most of it, nobody knows who the drivers are.
Right. Now that's not the case. Now it's CaseyLaDelle.
Yeah.
So that's
where like
that's paradigm shift, Ben.
That's where like the whole accidentally made myself famous thing I said earlier is like very true. Like,
oops.
If I'd have known how this was gonna go, like I wouldn't have titled it or like my name. Like I would have done it like Cascade Heavy Rescue or something where it's not like. That was the reason why I thought it was going to be, is like just posting some videos, promote my tow company, because I started it right in the middle of the pandemic, and I had a tow company, a new tow company here in Oregon, because we had just moved up here in the pandemic, and it's like they're telling everybody stay home, and I'm like, no, like please go drive around, like need something to tow. And so I thought videos would like help promote tow company, all that stuff, but I had like a YouTube account, so I just posted some stuff to that, and it's my name, and it just kept going and going. And then I realized like, oh, you can make money at this. And then it turned into like, what are the qualifications to make money? All I cared about, I wanted YouTube to pay me one time just to say I got paid by YouTube. And that snowballed. But I never intended it to be like me being famous. Supposed to like promote my towing company. And now it turns into, most people don't know what the heck the name of the towing company is.
Yeah, it's gone bigger.
I turned it, like we were talking with actually Jason. And he's like, dude, you got to switch your shirts up or something. Like all your shirts say Cascade Heavy Rescue, but you're the brand. Right. I'm like, I don't want to be the brand. but that's
what works.
I turned into the brand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people identify with the monster trucks. People identify with people, personalities. And that's, the monster trucks are a personality. They try and build that personality you're a monster truck. I mean, you're a personality, you know, and that's, but that's
and it's when the videos really started to ramp up was when I turned the camera around. Because at first it was filming what I was doing. And when I turned the camera around and talked to it, that's when I saw a big jump in the videos. And that's when it went into like the big jump that got it into monetization. And once it got monetized, it just snowballed from there. And then I just kept like kind of challenging myself with it. Like first thing, like once I heard you could get paid from YouTube, that was my only goal. Get paid from YouTube. Like all I focused on was what are the requirements for monetization, just so YouTube has to write me a check. Ironically, I've never gotten a check from YouTube because it's just direct deposit, but it's like, that was my goal. And I got really lucky that I got approved for monetization on the first of a month. And once you qualify for monetization, so I did everything to qualify for monetization, but YouTube takes a percentage of all the ad revenue that comes into your channel. If your cut of it's not at least $100, they just keep it. They still run the ads. They still collect the money. You just don't get any of it. So once I qualified for the monetization, my goal then turned into, I've got to make that $100 so that they have to pay me. And I was like, if I'd have made like $110, $150, whatever, I'd have been like, cool, I did it, whatever, not cared. But I got really lucky in that the monetization got approved on the first of a month, and YouTube's payment cycle is a full month, calendar month, and then they pay you towards the end of the next month. That first month, so I had a full month's pay on there, and I had a couple videos do really good for like back then. That first payment came as $1,000, and I was like,
what?
Ooh, there's like real money here. This isn't like I gotta have to take a gas because gas, you know, like and a burrito. Like there's like real money here, and I'm like, I should probably take this serious. So like. Then I just kept going with it. And then it's like, I got more serious about it. And like, and then it realized like, hey, this can be a business of its own. And then it even got to the point like, this just took over my whole business. And like, this is the new business.
Well, now you're doing recoveries for free for some people, you know, especially when they need it.
I think a lot of people, they see the glamour and like, oh, I want to do this. And never at any point do you want to discourage someone from, you know, moving forward. But what are like the challenges? What are the issues when you shut the door and you're sitting in front of your computer just editing? Like talk about that for a minute, because everybody talks about the glamour side of it.
Yeah, there's that side. Like, yeah, it makes money, but you also don't see that, like, especially in my case where it's a business that I'm filming what I'm doing and then making videos about. I have to go to work for the day first to make a video. My work isn't making a video. I have to actually do a job to get the content. Then I have to do the work of making a video out of it. So like, there's a lot of times I go home, dinner with the family, I'll put my daughter to bed, all that, and then it's go sit and I'm up till midnight, 1 in the morning editing videos so that I can post it, because I don't have time to do it the next day because I gotta go back to work. It's like I still today go to work for a living, and YouTube is this other thing on top of it. Even though YouTube is like the main income producing part of the business now, I still go to work first, and I have to do my job still.
You're still working 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I was out till like 1 o'clock this morning. Because after we were here yesterday doing some stuff, when I left, before I even got home, I got a phone call for heavy duty tow. So I went home, basically said goodnight to the girls at home, switched trucks, and went to work, and then got back home early this morning.
You can't turn off your day job and then just do YouTube full time.
No, because YouTube is about my day job. So I have to still go to work every day.
Off-road recovery, Utah, we know that's been insane. What's crazy is that Bend, Oregon is going nuts. Why is it? It's so funny. Like, why is it Utah? Why is it Bend?
Tourists.
It's
tourists. Like, hey, we're only going crazy with recoveries when there's snow on the ground and the winter tourists are here. It's like Sand Hollow, Moab. Those are wheeling places, but tourist wheeling places. And so like the people who go there and get stuck or have problems or breakdown or whatever, they can't call their buddies to come get them because they're on vacation. So like around here, you don't see any of us do much of like serious rock crawling wheeling recoveries, because the only people who are doing that here are locals. So they're either out with their friends or they can call their friends because their friends are right down the road. They're local, they're home.
But Google took a tourist the wrong way.
That's why most of what we do is tourists and out-of-state people stranded out in the wilderness somewhere because they were Sitting in town like today, it's 60 degrees out there, blue sky and sunny, but there's 5 feet of snow. 20 minutes that way. And they'll be sitting in town like, hey, there's this awesome waterfall hike. It's 20 minutes over there. Like, let's go check it out. And then they drive, and the way the snow happens so quick here is like, take a couple turns and it's like, ooh, I'm in trouble.
Yep.
And there's no backing out of it. So like, that's why wintertime, yes, off-road, I'd say off-road, because we're really on Forest Service roads. But it goes crazy here for the snow recovery. It's tourists. When the tourists come in the wintertime, we get some of it in the summertime, but it's more like, I knocked a hole in the oil pan on my rental car because I was out on the Forest Service road and there's a rock in it. We don't have the real rock crawling trails, off-road recovery here because there's no tourist wheeling here.
Well, and you've got people that they're not familiar with the area. They're not familiar with, they might be renting a car too. And then it's just a recipe for another client.
And I say Google's my best customer. They send people out.
Yeah.
Like all over the place. And
wait, hang on. Here's a second.
Ooh.
Google. Hang on.
I see where you're going with this.
So there's a conspiracy happening here.
Yep.
Google is sending people to the wrong place so that then you can go get a tow and then they're paying you.
And Google owns YouTube.
But I don't get it. You
might be onto something.
Hey, hang on here.
And when they Google a recovery service, whose number do they give them?
Thanks, Google.
Yeah, I'm thinking there might be something to that.
It's funny how like tech and all of these things happen, and how much life has changed in the last couple of years. Like, especially when it comes to being prepared and going to the right places. How the economy's changed. The gig economy. We've had to adapt so much. When you compare like Yankum Ropes or yourself or anybody else to businesses 10 years ago, 20 years ago, before the internet, before all of this was happening, we wouldn't have had a chance or the opportunity to do this because all the rigging shops were established, big second generation businesses. They already have all the business. To break into that is very, very difficult. You move your family and your life, everything up here to Bend, and you get started. And I mean, it wasn't a snap of the fingers. It wasn't an overnight deal, but what we've all been able to do because of the internet is just wild.
The internet's completely changed how business works. Like everything. And it's changed so much. Like my wife got her degree in marketing. And now these years later, like I'm basically in the business of marketing, and everything she learned is out the window.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's crazy to think like a guy like, a single person can get on YouTube and create more views than some networks are getting on their popular shows.
Yes.
That to me,
a lot of people
shows the shift that's happening and that's happened. And it's crazy to think about what 2, 3 years, 4 years from now is.
Like I've had big days on YouTube where it's got over 1 million views in a day. And it's like,
and there's TV shows that don't get those kind of views.
Yeah, exactly.
That have all this production and money and
it's leveled the playing field for people. Like, because you don't have to get famous or get picked to be in this, network television or movies thing. Like, it's leveled the playing field where the average person who wants to make a go something like that can. Like, you can just do it yourself. And that's kind of like, there's some things happening. YouTube, a lot of YouTubers are not happy with where YouTube's starting to they partnered up with NFL to start showing NFL games live on YouTube. And there's a lot of like people on the YouTube side being like, yo, like that was what made this different. That's what made it work, is like, now we're right back to competing with, networks and all that. Like, we can't do that. And it's like, there's a lot of people afraid that's going to kill the creator side of YouTube if YouTube does too much of partnering up with these big networks and just bringing them right back in. That was what leveled the playing field. Yeah. And I see it from YouTube side. YouTube's in the business of making money. And like, that's how I look at it with like making decisions on what I do with the channel is, remember, it's called the YouTube Partner Program. Like the thing between me and YouTube. It's like, YouTube is literally your business partner. YouTube sells ads on the content you create and they split the revenue. You get some, they get some. You are business partners. Like, you guys are business partners.
Yep.
If you were doing something that was making it where you weren't making money, you're not going to be happy with your business partner.
Correct.
But if you're doing something that's making the business a lot of money, you're going to be happy with your business partner. I got to think of the same thing with YouTube is, if I'm doing things that make YouTube money, YouTube's going to be happy with me. if I'm doing things that are preventing YouTube from making money, YouTube's not gonna be happy with me. How's my business partner gonna treat me?
Yeah.
And in this case, that business partner is at all the controls of my
I was gonna say, but apparently YouTube's very happy with you.
Yeah, and like I've had like sponsors want to pay me a lot more money than I've ever made off a single video to do a sponsored pitch in a video if I turn off all the other ads, so that their ad is the only thing shown in it. And it's like, no, it's a lot of money. It's more than I've ever made off a video or any sponsored thing, anything. But it's like, what did I just do? I just cut my business partner out completely, undercut them, still did the thing in the video to bring in money, but totally snaked it out from under them. How's YouTube going to feel about that?
Right. If a channel does that too much, do you think that it hinders the performance of that channel?
Yes, 100%. I do like a lot of the donation things, and like, we do the Patreon project where we use the money to help other people and do stuff like that. Those videos are always the worst performing thing on my channel. It's what I like doing the most, but it's the worst performing thing on my channel, because what am I doing in every one of those videos? I'm telling people to go check out this thing, or go check out what we're doing on Patreon, see if you want to help support, something like that. And they go to Patreon. Well, what YouTube tracks is when people are done watching one of your videos, do they stay on the YouTube platform or do they leave the YouTube platform? YouTube tracks that. And YouTube doesn't care if they stay watching your videos as long as they stay on YouTube. Because like for me, it's best if they stay watching my videos. For me, YouTube doesn't care about that as long as I stay on the YouTube platform. So if I have a video that is consistently making people watch it and then leave the YouTube platform, they don't suppress it officially.
But it doesn't seem to perform as good.
Yeah, they sure don't perform as good. They're not going to push it out as much. Where if I have videos that keep people watching more and more stuff, those videos do a lot better, and YouTube promotes that because that's helping YouTube make money. So that is a problem with those type of videos I do, is they're a killer for my channel, but they're what I like doing the most. But every time I do that, I'm making people leave the YouTube platform to go check out what we're doing, or the Patreon project or something like that. And those videos bomb every time. Yeah. But it's still what I want to do, so I do it. And I have to spread it out though, because I got to keep YouTube happy in there too. But
it seems to be a momentum aspect to it too. Like if you've got to make sure that you've got that spread out, so that then you can maintain trajectory.
Yeah, like even it's in like the links. Like I have Yankum rope links in there, and I don't do it to Yankum because it's an affiliate link. So when people click that link, if they purchase something, I'm getting something back out of that directly. Yeah. People are leaving the YouTube platform, and that link is causing people to leave, which is a hit to my channel. But if they purchase, I get back, which makes up for it. But there's other ones where it's like they want you to put, a link to their website in there. It's like, no, I'm going to put a link to your YouTube channel, and then it's you bring them to your website. So what YouTube sees is when they left my video, they stayed on YouTube. They went to that advertiser, that company's YouTube page,
but they never went away.
That advertiser sent them off of YouTube, not me. So like it looks good on my analytics still because I kept them on YouTube. What they did after that, I'm hands off of. So like I do that with a lot of other advertisers or people's sports channel. I don't put their website link on there, and then the description, all that. I put their YouTube channel link. And I'm like, then you guys are the ones who need to bring them to your website. Yeah. I link them to your channel, and then you go from there. But that's purely for that analytic in YouTube of I'm keeping them on the platform instead of sending them away.
It seems like Google's really only concerned about what your direct behavior is, not necessarily 2 or 3 steps later.
No, if it goes into other channels, then that's a hit on their analytics. Yeah. Which if it's going to a business and that business gets them to go to their, well, now you're selling your product. That's where you're making that back. Like you guys, there's the Yankum Ropes YouTube channel. That's not meant to be an income producer for Yankum Ropes. No. As far as the YouTube channel. Correct. It's meant to be a path to the website and a resource for people interested in the Yankum Ropes. Yeah. And then your website is the income producer.
We're interested in the ads aspect of it. We pay for ads and everything else. There's different things, advertising, etc. But there's such a fine line that you have to thread to make sure that you don't ruin the entertainment value of what people want to watch. Yeah. You've got to keep people happy and invested in the content, which if that's not a natural thing, people sniff it out pretty fast. Yes. Yeah. And then they're like, I'm out, I'm done, and then the video tanks and doesn't do good. Yep. So that's why on our end it's always been, no, you only use the rope if you need it. Don't.
Yeah. That was the first thing you told me.
Yeah.
Do not fake a recovery to use the rope to try to sell ropes.
No.
Don't do it. Like, that was the first thing you told me.
Yeah, it was just, well, because Matt and these other guys, they were getting accused of doing fake recoveries every once in a while, stage recoveries, and they never do.
Yeah.
It's just every once in a while, it's just kind of not a big deal
It
recovery.
looked easy.
It looked like an easy one.
People really get stuck like that.
Yeah.
Like it happens.
But in the comment section, people are like, "That's fake. That's staged. That's everything else."
All the time.
Yeah,
all
and
the
it's
time.
but it's not. It's just a nothing burger, you know. But it's part of the day job, and it's one of the recoveries being done. And so, the internet's changed everything. It's changed how advertising works. It changed how all of this is. I'm always thinking, like, looking forward, looking at, you know, what's coming around the corner. Like, you know, we're in 2024, there's elections coming, there's all of this other stuff. News has a tendency to affect everything. And we're looking at, like, well, how do we reach just that next audience? How do we talk to people? And because the overall mentality of people start to shift a little bit. And, like, one of them is just being prepared. You know, and we don't really talk about preparedness at all. We just talk about performance and quality, and, like, how do you keep that? But it's funny. It seems like right around this time of year, during, you know, every 4 years, I'm trying to be cryptic, you know, but, like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. When the political climate changes or shifts, it's funny how just the conversations shift on the internet. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, and we're trying to think of, like, well, how do we stay there without losing people at the same time?
Yes, and you also gotta always find a new audience. Like,
right.
Because if you hone in on this group of people, eventually you're gonna sell all the ropes you can to them. So it's like, you gotta figure out how to keep evolving your audience. I do the same thing, and that's actually been a very big goal of how I run my channel, is to have a very wide audience base in different categories.
Right. And your channel's growing right now.
Well, yes. And another thing you do too is what I've noticed is you've brought a lot of people into your party, for lack of a better word.
I do. It's very intentional, because if I want a very wide audience base, so there's, like, your view numbers. The other really important number for your worth to an advertiser is the unique viewer number. And I'm right now averaging about 5 million unique viewers per month. So that's the true size of the audience. My subscriber number is small in comparison, because what have I never done on my channel is ask people to subscribe.
Yeah.
I just haven't. But my unique viewer numbers have been hovering around 5 million for the last 4 or 5 months. Mm-hmm. So that's the true size of my audience. So from the advertiser side, I have a lot of tricks to
grow that. Yeah.
But, like, from the advertiser side, so, like, you guys are advertisers on my channel, and the value of an ad on my channel is much different than others. Because if I had, let's say I got 1 million views a month, and that 1 million views was made up of 250,000 super dedicated people who watch all the stuff I put out. You advertise on my channel, you're only advertising 250,000 people, no matter how many views I have, whether it's 10 million.
Sure.
If that unique viewer number is 250,000, that's who you're advertising to, is that group of people. Well, if that unique viewer number is 500,000 or 750,000, and that total view number is still the same, when you advertise on my channel, now you're advertising to twice as many, 3 times as many people. So what channel's more valuable? Mm-hmm. The one with, even if it has a bigger view number, has a smaller unique viewer number. That's where the value comes in that. And, like, my CPMs on YouTube are above average. You probably know this very well since you advertise on my channel. Mm-hmm. They're very much above average because of the audience base I have. And there's some strategic things I do, like, to get that. That's why you see, like, these curveball videos in my channel. Like, it's like speaking of running away with the circus, like, I did a video of, like, I went to the circus, and, like, those guys are awesome, but, like, the actual circus guy, that was so much fun. But, like, I did a video at the circus, and why is the off-road guy doing a circus video?
Right.
And it's like, one, it's fun, and I can do it. 2, there's going to be people who find that video based on the circus aspect of it. And that video's going to tank at first. It's going to, because YouTube's going to put that out to my normal audience, and it's not going to hit because they're there for off-road stuff. But YouTube will always be sending test pieces out all over to all different genres of YouTube and different audiences, and it's going to start hitting places. And then once the algorithm figures out, it's going to put more there. And if it keeps hitting, now it'll do a push. And that video will bomb for the first couple of weeks, and then it'll all of a sudden take off. Well, I just got people in a whole new market of YouTube watching my videos. And when you're watching a video of someone's, what's being suggested to you over here? More of their videos.
Right.
If you like what you see, you're probably going to watch something else. Maybe that is back into off-road or the heavy towing or something like that, but maybe they find it interesting. A portion of those people are going to stay, a portion of those people are going to subscribe or just keep watching. And now I have a whole new audience. I did farming stuff. A buddy of mine owns a big farming company over in the valley. The farming market, like what was the first big stuff you guys had?
Yeah, it was farm channels like Larson Farms, Millennial Farmer, at Welker Farms. They're all big channels.
The farming audience in YouTube is huge. It's like I went and did videos with my friend over there, and it's exposure for his business, so it's helping him. But two, those videos tanked at the beginning, and I told him they were going to. I'm like, don't look at the views at first and think nobody cares about you, what you're doing. Just wait a few weeks. And they bombed at first, but it's all about the farming stuff. And eventually YouTube found that farming market because they send those tests out all over the place. My audience didn't care. But they send those tests out all over the place, and it starts hitting over here. Well, then they start making that big push over there, and all of a sudden all those videos are ramping up. And they just got tons of views, and a big portion of those people stayed. And like I get comments like, I'm a 75-year-old grandma in Ireland who's never even sat in a four-wheel drive vehicle in my life. I don't know why I love your channel so much, but I can't miss a video.
Wow.
And like, why is this lady watching my channel? It came from one of those things I did that caused the algorithm to send out these tests and bring a different audience in. And that's why I have that huge, unique viewer number, which adds a lot of value to my channel from an advertiser's point of view. It's also... it's a not put all your eggs in one basket thing too. Like I have a big audience. If my channel shifts, shifts with the heavy wrecker, it's not so much off-road stuff anymore. There's a lot of heavy duty towing. My channel's shifting, but with such a wide base audience, not such a laser focused on off-road recovery audience, I can do that.
Well, you got to compartmentalize. You have to have different things.
I need to keep the theme of the channel the same for the most part, but the theme of the channel has kind of always been following me and what I'm doing for the day. So I can,
that's where you will win is because you've done that.
Me and Matt Wetzel had that conversation of, he's like, yep, I can do this because this is what we do here. And mine from the beginning has kind of been, there's random stuff thrown in. And then once I realized the value of that, I kind of leaned on that some. And I can do those different things. Like I can go do a video that's a completely off the wall thing and it still works because my audience is used to me being off the wall and all over the place.
If you decide to go base jumping, you're going to do well with it eventually. Like it might not hit right at the beginning, but then then it starts finding the base jump side of it. But if you go too far outside of what CaseyLaDelle is in heavy wreck.
If I went and did that farming thing and then just only did that from now on, it's going to leave a whole bunch of people going like, what the heck was this? Like
what happened?
But like but I can do a few of them and it's fine. But like Matt, if Matt were to go do a video about, the circus, you know how many people would be like, what in the... people lose their minds. Like he's kind of in the opposite of that. He laser focused on one specific thing and just killed it. Like created that whole genre in YouTube, like absolutely killed it. Like top of the charts by far. But he's now laser focused into that. I don't have nearly the following that he does, but I have a wider following. And it's kind of like, which one would you rather be in? That there's benefits and negatives to both.
So you fast forward 2 years, what does things look like for you? Like what are your massive goals in the next couple of years for your channel and your business?
I really want the channel to do a lot more of like the helping people thing we do. Like I said, it's what performs the worst on YouTube, but it's also my favorite part about it. Like it's the most satisfying, it's the most fulfilling, it's what I like doing the most. And I want to build that up even more. Like, of course, the towing company's not going to go away. It's going to keep doing what it's doing. But I want to grow that side of it, and I want to be able to do more with that because, like I said, it's by far the most fulfilling thing.
So, what are some of the ways that people help you do that?
So, like, we have the Patreon project, and it's where on Patreon every month. People go on there and it's like, there's no special perks to it. Like, it's not like normal people's Patreon where if you pay this much a month, you get this. If you pay this much a month, you get to text me twice a month. Like, none of that weird stuff. It's just like, you can put in as little as $1 $5, 10, 20, I think it goes up to 100. And whatever it makes in a month is the budget to do something for someone the next month. And like, there's no like administrative fee, stuff like that. It's like whatever that number is, like that much money is going to help someone, whether it's we fixed the homeless guy's broke down on the side of the road in his RV that was his house. Well, we fixed that. We got new tires on it. We paid the insurance and registration for it. Like all that stuff. There was a youth sports league over on the coast that like, it's kind of a ground up. They started in their backyard, turned into a soccer league thing. And now they got a field they rented, but it gets dark so early that they have to cut practice shorter and cut their season short. Well, we went and bought a whole bunch of the big like construction light towers and took over and donated to them. And now their field's got lights and they can run the full season and have their practices after work when it's dark. Like that's the most fulfilling thing out of this to me. And I want to do so much more of that. And that's another thing of that whole, like what I talked about, like people on and off YouTube thing is when I promote those videos, I'm telling people to go to Patreon because that's where it's at. And like the reason I do that on Patreon and not YouTube channel memberships is Patreon takes 8% of what comes in. YouTube takes 30 for that stuff. And it's like, since that money's going to help others, the more that we have to use for that, the better. That's why I did it on Patreon. But it also brings a bunch of people off YouTube platform after they watch my videos, which takes it down. Yeah, and YouTube is pushing me to bring that back over and saying like, yeah, but people already have an account here. They're already watching here. Yes, it takes a bigger percentage, but if you get more people involved, it makes up for it. And it's kind of like, again, like which ones kind of weigh that out, which one's better there. It might come to that where we switch it back over to YouTube and do that through YouTube channel memberships. I get their point of, yes, the people are already there. They don't have to go to another website. They already have an account set up. Like, they're already there. It makes it, if it makes it easier for them to do it, they're more likely to do it.
Well, and there's also probably some things too that might even change in the future that we don't even foresee that might adjust it. But hopefully, it just helps you be able to take that kind of to the next level. And so, anyways, and I like your I mean, just the ways that you're able to.
That's one.
This is one of them. Like
I
love that. I don't
have one.
I sent those shirts out to every other channel out there. And
my favorite is Bruce Cook. If you haven't,
so that right there, perfect example, is that right there is a way of expanding my audience base.
Yeah,
and it's helping him out too. Bruce has a big following in the freestyle motocross, nitro circus, like that world. He's got a big following there.
Yeah,
but he has an off-road recovery channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
that doesn't have a big following. I don't know why. His videos are great.
They're awesome.
He's got like this year. I don't have any snow here. He's got tons of snow. He's got snow cats, cool Jeeps, like.
And he loves doing it.
His videos are awesome. Like that's why I watch that. I'm like, why is this channel not like way bigger?
Well, and he's got a nice gig too. You know, he just sits in the Jeep and sits and, you know, he's got guys running the cable for him.
Like so, I in a video previously, I kind of jokingly but said it serious in the video, called out of like, yeah, there's this guy, like a wannabe off-road recovery guy who all he does is sits in the Jeep, makes everyone else get out, air down the tires, and pull the winch line while he just barks orders. Won't even get out and introduce himself to the customer. Like
he just stays in the heater
and I
the whole
totally
time.
hammed it up like, this dude's a joke. Like he
needs to check himself. Check his attitude.
Yeah, and then like I said his name's like Bruce Cook or something like, and I put a link to his channel down there. And
everyone hates you.
Like, most of my audience got it.
Sure,
like they're used to me not being serious about things. So
you sent a lot of people over there. Like how he went from what 12,000 subscribers to about 17 or something.
17.5 last I looked. So that was a big jump, and then the video's just starting.
So,
but Bruce has an I Hate CaseyLaDelle t-shirt. So then most of my audience got it, thought it was funny because they went over and saw these and were like, "Oh, Casey got us again." But then they subscribed. And his subscribers went up, his views went up, which is awesome. Is like he deserves every bit of that. Like his channel's great. And then a lot of his side didn't quite find it so funny. But then he played it up again and like hopped out of the snow in his wheelchair, and his wheelchair sunk in the snow and tipped over, and he's wearing an I Hate CaseyLaDelle shirt when it happened.
And he's just like, oh.
And then I doubled down. I doubled down on it and screenshotted him, fell down in the snow in his wheelchair. I went, typical Bruce Cook, always laying down on the job. And then people started to get it.
Yeah.
And then I started getting viewers from his side, that whole other world.
But you also got some real hate.
I got some threats too.
You got some threats. Like, what was the best one?
Someone threatened to make me need a wheelchair too.
Not even understanding the whole background is that's the funny part.
But yeah, it's like it wasn't. I got something out of that too. It wasn't complete. Like it helped him out, but it also helped me out too, because he's got a big following in that market, and it's a total crossover for both of us.
Right.
And we're doing the same type of things from 2 different areas, but like that expanded my audience and it expanded his.
Yeah. And then he gets to take off. Then this t-shirt gets sold. And then, you know, and that goes to, when these t-shirts sell, what happens?
That shirt right there, if you go wear that shirt in town, like if you wear a Cascade, I should probably, like, because we're doing this whole on camera thing, I've been wearing a Cascade Heavy Rescue shirt.
But hey, you're wearing Rory's. That's good.
Yeah. So when people see a Cascade Heavy Rescue shirt out, like, they're not gonna think twice of it. If they see a shirt that, like, this is very purposely just plain as can be, no explanation to it, no reference to anything else, just I hate CaseyLaDelle. If someone sees that shirt, you're at the grocery store, you're in town, whatever, they're gonna be like,
what's that?
who the heck is CaseyLaDelle?
And then they're gonna go find out who you are.
What did he do? So how are they gonna figure out who CaseyLaDelle is?
They're gonna search it.
They're gonna Google CaseyLaDelle.
Yeah.
Google is gonna start seeing CaseyLaDelle being searched in the Google terms. What's gonna pop up? My YouTube channel. What are they going to do? Click on videos. That counts as views. Now that person's algorithm, every person on YouTube has their own algorithm.
Yeah.
That algorithm now sees them not only watching my videos, searching out my videos, which holds a whole lot more weight, because if YouTube had to put this video out in front of you for you to, okay, I'll click on that. That's one thing. If people are actively searching you out, that holds a whole lot more weight.
Well, Casey, this has been awesome. This has been fun.
Gotta call out Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast, if you're watching this video, you're not. But if you're watching this video, feel free to correct me on everything I said wrong.
And we'll take notes.
Yes.
But if you would, line item, bullet points. Schedules, times.
Tutorial, all the stuff.
That would be wonderful.
Well, Casey, we've learned a lot today. That's been cool to hear. You're kind of a marketing guru.
I know, that's the funny thing. I said my wife's the one who's got the degree in marketing.
Right.
No, I'm like fell into the marketing. That is what the business is marketing.
Well, we appreciate you, man. This was fun. We're gonna definitely do this again. For those that don't know how to find you, you've got YouTube.
Just search I hate
CaseyLaDelle. That's all you got to do, right?
It'll bring it up on YouTube. It's just, that's my name on Instagram, and also just CaseyLaDelle. Like I said, that was never supposed to be the brand, but I accidentally turned my name into a brand.
Well, you've done a good job, and we appreciate you.
Yeah.
So this has been awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Let's do it again.
Absolutely.